I've had my Bronco for over 7 months now, and I can't believe it has nearly 9,000 miles on it already. So I thought this would be a good time to do a quick video review and evaluate the Bronco as a daily driver. I just had my first oil change performed last week after noticing that the oil on my dipstick was looking a little dark. So I stopped dragging my feet and got it done. So what has it been like to live with the Bronco for the past 7 months, you might ask? Well, I'm probably going to give you a very unsatisfying answer and say both good and bad. But let me start with one of the positives. Getting back to that oil change, the cost to run the Bronco is not very expensive at all. The oil change was only about $48 after tax. I'm actually very surprised that it was that cheap. It used to cost about $80 to change the oil in my old Camry. Since gas has gone down over the past couple of months, filling up the Bronco has been less of an issue. I've been averaging about 22 miles per gallon over the past several months by running in eco mode and driving carefully. The most fuel efficient speed seems to be around 40 miles an hour or so. But if you don't stray too far above 60 or 65, you shouldn't have a problem getting about 20 miles to the gallon. Now, a negative about the Bronco certainly has to be the noisy top. It doesn't really seem that bad anymore, maybe I'm just getting used to it, but I don't really notice it unless I'm riding over a really bumpy surface. The next thing really isn't a negative, it's just something to be aware of. The Bronco is a tall vehicle standing over 6 feet in height. One day I ran into my garage door before it had fully opened. It was a rookie mistake, I know, but in my defense, this is the first SUV that I've ever owned, so I'm not used to driving a vehicle this tall. And if you've ever done that before, then you know that's one of the nastiest sounds you could ever hear. I'll give you a quick reenactment. Bloom! Now looking at the practical side of things, I would rate the Bronco as adequate for daily use. The cargo area for the two-door Bronco is pretty small. It will accommodate most suitcases, but barely large enough for a set of golf clubs, for instance. If you fold the back seats down, it vastly increases the storage area, but it's still not all that deep. So if you have a family or your daily chores require you to carry a lot of things around, then I would strongly recommend the four-door Bronco. That situation doesn't apply to me, so the two-door works fine for my needs. As far as other must-haves, for me personally, I would have to have the Sasquatch package to give the Bronco that stance and presence. But with that, I also found it necessary to install the tube step bars because getting into the Bronco can be quite a climb for some people. I think that the upgraded headlights are pretty sick too. They look great at night and give the Bronco an unmistakable signature. They're definitely worth the extra money. Other nice-to-have options that aren't on my Bronco are the trailer hitch, the upgraded Bang & Olufsen sound system, and the built-in garage door opener. The upgraded stereo and garage door opener aren't even available on the Big Ben trim level, which is what I have. Those options are only available on the Outer Banks trim level and higher. Last but not least, the overhead auxiliary switch panel. This is only a $195 option, but to have the dealer install it after the fact appears to be well over $1,000 from what I'm seeing in my research. So if you want that option, you best check that box when you spec your vehicle. Quirks and missing options aside, this is a great vehicle as a daily driver. It's definitely not something that you would call inconspicuous, so if you don't like standing out in a crowd, then the Bronco might not be for you. It's very well received by the masses, 7 months in, and I still get compliments all the time from strangers. And one of my absolute favorite things about the Bronco is riding around with the doors off. Driving with the doors off has to be one of the most unique driving experiences I can think of in any road-going vehicle. And if you ever get the opportunity to try it, I highly recommend it. It kind of reminds me of a dirt bike. Whenever I power slide around a turn, I want to stick my leg out to keep my balance. Which brings me to the subject of how the Bronco drives in general. It's actually pretty smooth over most surfaces and is very maneuverable. The steering may be a bit numb, but that's to be expected. It's not a sports car. It does make pretty good power and accelerates with confidence, even though I think an electric version would definitely push the Bronco's performance over the top. Hopefully Ford will make an electric one day. Overall, as a daily driver, I have to give the Bronco a big thumbs up. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, but for those who want something that not only gets them from A to B, but also provides some personality and entertainment along the way, this just might be the vehicle for you.